So one thing is I lost an attempt during this run, but it was not because I died. It was right before I got to this point, and it's because my Firestorm stopped working. I've noticed it stops working all the time, and I have to just flat out exit the game and come back to get it working again, so that's fun. But going to the changes I made on this dude, and going to that point, so I'm using Firestorm on my secondary, and I'm using Noxious Spawns on my primary, for an important reason. It helps the support more, because I'm adding even more status effects. Yeah, they don't help me much. Well, they don't help my damage at all, but helps my team even more. But the main thing for me, though, is, I mean, the damage is still okay on both of them, and they both heal you. Well, Firestorm is an insane amount of healing because it heals you based off your weapon leech, because it's a damage over time mod, and then it also heals you from your skill leech from the burns. And then the Toxic also will heal me from the skill leech because of the burns. And this build is a max status power dude that's still stacking, and will stack more in the future as I get rid of cooldown more on my gear. He still gets a really high skill leech with max status power, and the status power increases the damage of those, of the fire, of the burn. So you combine that together, and he actually sees his damage is not still, it's not like OP with burn or toxic, but it's high enough where he heals a lot from it though. So that's all you need in his case. His turrets are just ridiculous now, and they heal an insane amount. I mean, I won't lie, I only need one form of this healing, I'm telling you, to just be a super tank. But why not have all of it, especially for this mission, because this mission, or this boss, because this boss can sometimes just instantly drop you from full health when he's doing that. If you don't move for just a split second, you can just die instantly from that crap. And it's happened to me on some of my max health builds. It's still important to have max health because it decreases the odds of that, and it's important to have a lot of healing because then it decreases the odds where you're just healing it off immediately before you can get running again, before you get hit again, and then you just die, you know, before you have a chance to do anything. See, I made those changes. I got rid of Quartermaster because my turrets now replenish my ammo and my team again, and I just didn't need it anymore. I decided to get Fixer-Upper back. They nerfed it, but the thing is, they didn't nerf the duration on it, so it's kind of, at this point when you max the cooldown on Fixing Wave, I feel like it's kind of just as OP as it was before, because it gives you less resistance and armor, but it still gives you a lot of resistance and armor, and now you can have it on you more often now. Like, it's on me most of the time now, but compared to before World Slayer, where it was on me and my allies less than half of the time because of the cooldown on Fixing Wave. So yeah, I did that change. I got rid of Moaning Winds on my secondary because, again, my turrets replenished my ammo, and it was getting just annoying. I would go to my secondary, and it would constantly be buffed again before I had a chance to use it, the full ammo, and have to shoot again to activate it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna, this guy is perfect anyway to just be a weapon switcher, so for different mods for damage, so I'll just do that. I'll just switch to a primary, especially because, again, just like on my Pyro, I can't justify having Weapon Leech any longer on my primary gun until I get like a perfect roll epic that will take forever to find. But until then, I just am kind of stuck with a legendary that has a good third mod on it, because I don't want to say no to that. Now the thing is, when we talk about that, I have till, well, I go to the end of the video, I mean, to see the build the last 30 seconds. I have till Death Do Us Part on Damascus Offering as the third mod. And I'm only keeping it because I can tell it still heals me a crap load, and it gives me, because the damage over time on it activates Weapon Leech too. So I actually still heal a ton from Weapon Leech, or from just my gun, really. By still using my primary. And it's nice to have Damascus Offering anyway, because it lets me have Claymore Torrent still, which is the best one. Like, at this point, it's more about having the 2 tier 3 mods, and then just still having the healing, versus having an epic gun with 2 mods, and I'm stuck with, you know, Death Chains is just the only good tier 2 mod to have on it, and I can only use 1 tier 3 mod, so that's really why I'm doing it, until I get a better, the moment I get a Damascus Offering with something better. And I actually did get one with Deadly Disturbance, but I tested it later, and the damage difference really was no different. And I hate it. I hate those mods anyway, because I hate having to get crits. No, what I just want is like Slashing Twister, or I don't know, Sandstorm, Violent Rupture, I mean, I prefer the others I mentioned because those would heal me since they're damage over time mods, but anything really that's just a decent damage, you just gotta shoot the dude. That's all I want when it comes to all of my builds. So yeah, he's using that now, and then I switched Firestorm and I put a Firestorm Death Chains, status power skill leech on his secondary. And let me just say that the Techno's healing now is just absolutely off the charts. The Pax tree makes it absurd. The fact that I can now get rid of cooldown for one and put even more skill leech on is another thing, obviously. But the Pax tree, just the first node itself is just insane because it increases your weapon and skill leech by 5% for 5% of missing health. Which means when I get hit by like one of those things in the boss fight and it takes me maybe to half health, that adds 50% weapon and skill leech. Which means my turrets that are still shooting, they're already healing me a ton, but then they just, like, one shot from them is like, oh no, you're back up to full, man, nothing to worry about. Like, oh my gosh, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they nerfed that one, but even if they do, it'd still be great, because I was thinking, if it's 2%, I mean, getting 20% more skill leech at half health is always still a big boost to survivability, so I still really wouldn't care much if they nerfed it. If it were me, I would have launched the game with it only being 2.5%, not 5. I would have made it half of that. But I can't believe it was 5 for 5, because that actually, when you do the math, is an insane amount of healing. And you don't have to get to the red health to get an insane amount of healing. You just have to get to like less than halfway, and you're definitely skyrocketing back up at that point. Yeah, so those are the changes I've made. Definitely really good. I will say my Techno seems to do the least damage, though, unfortunately, of all my classes, and it's because they just don't get as much love. In the bottom tree especially, they don't get hardly any love for damage with the route I've chosen. But it makes sense because he is a big support healer. He freezes everyone an insane amount, even better, debuffs everyone, heals everybody, buffs everybody, and still does good damage.